Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode. I am so excited you are here. Thank you for tuning in and moving forward with me as we talk about energy. It's really about healing, but we're going into energy to learn more and to understand more about how we heal ourselves. And why we are getting into that personal energy and transformation and how we are affected by it. I feel like we must discuss auras. Actually, I'm really excited about this topic. I feel like, again, I say this every episode, but auras, who isn't excited to understand auras further? Because auras are just another layer of our energetic being that affects our whole self wellness. While we begin to take responsibility for our healing journeys, understanding how we are affected on all levels will allow you to navigate the areas within yourself that are requiring these healing and adjustments. And this is just that extra level because auras, they are the kind of like a vibration of the life force, right? So last episode, we went into life force and our personal energy, but this is kind of that like vibration of life force that surrounds all living things. It's our electromagnetic field. Yeah, I think I said that right. Electromagnetic. Electromagnetic field. That it can be seen as a spectrum of colors surrounding our entire body. And so each of these layers have a color intensity and meaning and connects to one of our main seven chakras. So again, these auras actually have seven layers, which again, to these seven chakras, seven and seven. And I'm sure we've all heard of when we think of aura, we think of again about these like rainbow layers outside of our body because it is essentially that. They each layer of our aura have colors and these colors hold meaning about our personal life experiences, about our personality, our health, our spiritual growth, and honestly so much more. It can actually go as far as telling you it could people can read these and tell you more about your love relationships, career, and honestly, I think the list goes on and on. And they also can appear in a variety of shades of colors, revealing positive and negative qualities. So let me put a disclaimer here right now. I am not an expert in reading auras. It is not my main thing, nor really is it my thing. I just find it fascinating and I love understanding these pieces. But maybe in the future, I will follow up by another episode by having an expert on. So if you are an expert or if you know of one, send them my way. Send me an email, SherieBuckman at Gmail. I'd love to hear more from you to see if we can go further in that. So, now, I personally, again, I am a medium. I'm an empath and I sit with clients and, I do my sessions and I have seen auras from time to time. And sometimes while connecting with a client, they will, when I connect to them intuitively, I will see one big color surrounding them. And usually when I'm connecting, that is just telling me about one big piece that is really out of alignment or one that's balancing or one that's growing within them that puts that, I guess, wants me to reference that aura or that chakra. But again, not my specialty, but I have seen them in different versions. But for now, at least for today, let's go into and what I want to share, which is the basics of our aura relating to our health and our healing journeys. So I'm going to reveal to you all the layers and the details and what they mean. So at least today, we all walk away with that base knowledge. Okay, so the first layer of our aura is the etheric body. Okay, this is the one that's closest to our body. And actually, it's only about 1 to 2 inches away. Okay, I don't know where my 1 or 2 inches is. That seems good. 1 or 2 inches away from our physical body. So from the skin. Okay, so this layer here, this etheric body, is connected to our root chakra. And it represents our physical body, including like our glands, our organs, and tissues. And this is actually the one that is easiest to see with the physical eye. So, most of you who have that sensitivity or maybe able to physically see this aura, usually, if you can do this and wanting to see an aura, it's being able to kind of stand back and blur your eyes. I don't know if any of you remember those pictures. This is like a huge thing, like in the 90s. They had those like blurred pictures. And in order to see what the actual picture was, you had to like stand back and like stare or open your gaze. Kind of like that. So when you do that, when you stand and look at somebody, if you really focus and open up that blur just to see the haze around them, you can actually start seeing just a little bit of light emanating off of it. It's pretty fascinating. So if you're starting to be able to see it, usually you're going to start and able to see this first body, this etheric body. Now, when people see this, they are actually the color, I'm sorry, of this layer of this aura emanates from about gray to a pale blue or violet. So for this layer, gray is not a bad thing. Actually, gray represents a more like active person, someone who is healthy, while blue is being associated with a more passive person. Interesting, right? So someone maybe less energetic. So when this layer is functioning optimally, I can speak today, I promise. We're getting there. We feel strong, we feel energetic, resilient, and content. Yes. So let's move along here. So that is our first layer. So now we're going to go out to the second layer. The second layer is the emotional body. This one is about 1 to 3 inches from the physical body. I don't know why I keep wanting to like I am physically, if you're watching on YouTube or for those of you listening on the podcast and iTunes or Spotify or any of those, I'm like using a lot of hand gestures trying to like show the measurement with my fingers. Yeah, I think that's 3 inches, 1 to 3 inches from your physical body. There we go. Ruled by the sacral chakra. Yes, there we go. The sacral chakra. So, second one, it's actually second chakra, right? So, emotional body equals the sacral chakra. This layer stores our emotional experiences from past and present. So, it represents our emotional maturity and intelligence. Oh, yes. And so I feel like I can go really far on a tangent about this, but we're not going to. We're going to stay on point because I feel like we have lots to cover. So let's stay there. Yay, me from avoiding that circle. So coming back, this represents our emotional maturity and intelligence. So, this layer can be seen as really many colors of the rainbow. And it can be muddy and gray in times of emotional distress. So, again, when we're going through moments of grief or when we are like experiencing loss or anything like that, or if we're really stressed or we are triggered in any way, that layer can really show up as a muddy color of whatever one that represents you, right? So, but when this emotional body is healthy, we are emotionally stable, self aware, and feel an inner calm. So, moving into the third one, into our third layer, this is our mental body. The mental body is about 3 to 8 inches from the body, and it is connected to our solar plexus. So solar plexus right here, going right here in the gut, and third layer of our aura layers. I can do this. It represents our knowledge, wisdom, intellect, and our beliefs of the ego. So this is really kind of like an ego based, and it emanates as yellow. And when you are concentrating, actually, it will go even brighter. But you will see this more, especially when it is getting brighter. If you're able to see auras, this is really concentrated around your head, neck, and shoulders. So, right in this area. Obviously, it's our mind, right? So the color can change depending on the nature of your emotions attached to your thought forms. And it can get stronger in color when you're concentrating, which I had just mentioned. So if you're ever focusing and working with auras and you're watching someone and you're asking them to concentrate on something, so whether they're doing math problems or saying the alphabet backwards, whatever it may be. When you're really focused on something, it actually glows brighter and brighter. It's showing that you're using a lot of that mental energy going in there. right? So another thing to understand here is that all of your auras actually change with your emotions. So these colors, right? So if one day you go to one of the holistic health fairs, fascinating and wonderful, which I'm just starting to start doing myself, you can actually go get photos taken and it shows your auras, which is fantastic. And every photo everyone takes is very different. Some of them are super bright and vibrant. It can be mostly red with layers of like yellow and orange. Some of them are blue and greens and violets, or maybe you have all these multitude of colors. I've seen some that are bright white. It is actually really interesting. So if you were to do this, let's say you go every year and you go the next year and you get a picture taken, it might be a completely different color. And that's why. It's because our auras change with our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, and our spiritual awareness. Again, the more we open, become more in tune, we're evolving, our vibration is changing. Therefore, it is affecting our energetic levels. And when our energetic levels are affected, it changes colors. Okay. And so, coming back to our mental body. So, when this layer is balanced, we exert control over our minds and intentionally direct our thoughts towards the desired outcome. So, focus, right? Having more focus here. So, an interesting fact about those first three layers, we had the etheric, we had the emotional, and we just had the mental. So, those first three layers right there, the lower astral layers, as they call them, are concerned with manifestation of the physical, right? So, when this is what we're talking about, like for an example, it's illness and disease, our negative emotions, our unwanted thoughts, our beliefs, and together are said to make up your personality. I know right there it sounded like a lot of negatives. I don't know. I don't really like that. Let's talk about it. This is how we're manifesting and creating ourselves on this ego, right? The ego plane, our body itself. So now we're going to go into the next four, which is again going outside of that. So now we just did three layers that represent the physical plane, and now we're moving on beyond that. So the fourth layer is the astral body. The astral body is about 1 foot to 1.5 feet from your body. So again, now we're getting out even further. So your aura actually goes out and out. It goes pretty far. And this energetic layer is connected to our heart chakra. And surprise, surprise, it stores our capacity to love both specific and universal. The most important part about this layer is that it bridges the physical, that lower, dense energy, right? The physical domain, and the spiritual, which is that higher, pure energy. And it connects us. So, this layer also manifests in a variety of colors: pink, red, orange, green, blue, indigo, purple, right? And they all center around our chest. The main colors that you will see here, because it is connected like the heart chakra, it will actually mostly see pink or green or shades of thereof in this, but it is not limited there. So when this astral layer is balanced, we feel a deep sense of love, harmony, and aliveness, and astral travel becomes possible. Oh, I have so much more to go on about that and all those possibilities, but those are in upcoming episodes coming very soon. So stick with me. We're going to get there. Okay, so now we're moving into our fifth layer of our aura. And this one is our etheric template. Etheric. I think I said that right. Etheric. For some reason, that felt weird coming off my tongue. Etheric template. This is about 1.5 to 2 feet from your body, and it is connected to our throat chakra. This layer holds the blueprint of our optimal health for our physical body on a higher spiritual plane, right? So it holds the blueprint, but it also contains our spiritual fingerprint relating to our natural talents, our spiritual gifts, and the things that make us unique. It's kind of like it holds that authentic part of ourselves, the ones that are deep down and what we are capable and able to do. But This layer emanates a mixture of blue and gray hues visible around the throat and neck area. This is where you'll be able to concentrate and see it most. When this chakra is balanced, we can elevate our consciousness, use our psychic abilities, and communicate our truths. Again, really connected there to that throat chakra. And moving along, because I want to move now into our sixth layer of the aura, which is the celestial. Why I have such a hard time saying this word. Celest, celestial, celestial. I guess I needed to practice that. Celestial. I can hear it in my mind just fine, but now the difficulty of getting those to connect, or maybe I need to work on that mind body a little bit more. Getting into this, the celestial layer of our celestial body, layer of our aura is 2 feet to 2 3/4 feet from our body. This is actually related to our third eye chakra or the brow chakra right here. And this is the intuitive level associated with processes of enlightenment. The layer of unconditional love that gives you access to higher qualities of feelings, thoughts, and manifestations. So the huh, celestial, the celestial layer. I can do this. You guys can even come on a journey with me.
Celestial.
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 Celestial. Okay, the celestial. I had to ask Google how to say this word because I was tongue tying it all over the place. Celestial. I still can't say it. Okay. This celestial, you're just going to have to deal with it if I'm saying it wrong, layer is harder to see as it emanates a pearl white, silver, or gold color vortex circling your forehead. Right? So now it's getting harder to see these layers, and not many people can keep going further and seeing these layers in with the physical eye. And when this is balanced, we feel unconditional love, ecstasy, and a connection to the divine. Now moving into our seventh layer, which is the final layer of our aura, at least the aura, it's the 7 main auras that I am talking about today, is the casual or Ketheric template. Now, this aura is actually about 2.5 to 3 feet from the body. So as you can see, we started with 1 to 2 inches. Yep, this is my very formal calculation here, 1 to 2 inches. And now we are going, what was it? We got 1, 2, 3. Okay, I feel like this is a good representation. Can go out to here. So here, this is our aura right here. So out to 3 feet of our body, this is the crown chakra, right? Connected to our crown chakra. And it contains your life plan or soul contract and holds every detail about our soul, our mission, and our past lives. This layer is actually composed of tiny golden threads of light, or some see it as multiple shades of purple or violet. But it is actually really rare to witness this layer as it is related to enlightened beings. That's not a common thing, people. And if you think you're enlightened, let me tell you right now, sorry to pop your bubble, but you are not. And because enlightenment means the absence of the ego. And so if you still feel anger, if you still feel resentment, and you can't see a bigger perspective without having a feeling either way on any type of situation, you are not enlightened. Unfortunately, but again, outside of this experience, we're working towards that. We are all building to there. But when this layer is balanced, the ego disappears and one becomes consciousness itself, right? So we now are experiencing life beyond the limitations of time and space. So, as we are understanding all of these auras as a whole, right? So we have these auras and they expand. I wanted to go back for a minute and talk about the distance of our aura. One thing I've noticed, especially with my own personal self, as I work with my aura, because I do, that is still another thing as someone who is sensitive, who works with clients, who connects with energy, who works with energy altogether. I have to be very conscious about all of these layers of energy and especially my aura as well. When I do my own cleansing and my grounding, I am going into every layer of my energy. And so while I do my own internal space and my chakras individually, I work myself out and actually going into my aura too. Our aura also collects a lot of energy, foreign energy. This is our own emotional states as well as others. We collect all of this in here. So it is important that we take some time to cleanse our auras. And not only that, me personally, I've always clung that energy really close to myself. It is something I have naturally always done. And so I have to be very present and aware and put a lot of intention into spreading it out. And I like to just put the intention. I don't have to know how far it needs to go out, but I put the intention of I need to expand my aura to what is for my best and highest good for what I need right now. And then it will auto adjust to where it needs to go. There is a lot of work you can do with your aura. Like I said, you can work with somebody who actually knows more to do with aura work. Reiki is really good with this too, but also using the chakra work. I have done a whole series in that, which you can go back to and listen to. But again, just having the awareness of your aura allows you to recognize how to regulate your overall health by adjusting your energy layers. When each aura layer is in balance, we experience a sense of inner peace, vitality, and a stronger connection to the divine. And it's the overall goal. Like I said before, it's getting to that enlightenment state and feeling that connection with the divine. Because we're all connected in that consciousness. It's reconnecting to it. And if we can do it while we are in this dense human state, oh, that's definitely getting somewhere. More information that we will cover in another episode. I know I love leaving you hanging with these little tidbits to kind of stay tuned. But as I said, to work on your aura health and healing individual layers, I recommend listening to the chakra episodes in association with the layer that you are trying to work with that corresponds with it. And so if you go back to season 3 of this podcast, I did a whole series on chakras, including additional guided meditations for each one. You can go in there and work with it as you please. And thank you for coming today. I am so excited that you stayed with me this far if you're still listening. And I wish you all love and peace. And until next time, you beautiful souls, be kind to yourself.